Hello and welcome. Apologies for not coming live as often as I should. Today I want to address the topic that I said we were going to discuss about for some time now, and that's food palliative as poverty alleviation. You see, when you want to alleviate the poverty of the masses. I mean, we always look at Nigeria. When you want to alleviate poverty, essentially, if you want to really get a long-standing effect, providing food as palliative can help cushion hunger, but not the solution. There's a lot of philanthropists or charities that help in providing food in terms of foodstuffs or food items that families can eat and help them. But if you really want to deal with poverty, you have to empower people. You have to provide jobs. You have to provide employment. You have to cater for people. You need to, and I think one big thing that can solve a whole lot of issues. Hi, night station photos. Thank you. One thing that can solve a whole lot of issues is power. And there are some countries in Africa that have uninterrupted power. Yeah, to truly empower people, yes. There's no point giving somebody fish when you can as well teach them how to fish. Do you understand? If we have power, steady electricity in Nigeria, I will tell you the middle class will be so much empowered that money will drop. Because the way it works is that the high class, middle class, and lower class, if the high class allow money to drop, it goes to the middle, and then the middle will naturally drop to the low class. So say, for example, middle class, you're a contractor. If you win a contract or you are building a house for somebody, a rich man who belongs to a high class, then you are making money that in turn you can pay to the Okada rider that is taking you, or the taxi man that is taking you, or put petrol in your car, thereby paying the fuel attendant or helping other businesses. Or you can employ the services of a butler or even a dry cleaner, and that's how money rotates in the system. And that's why they will tell you that for every economy, the people that moves the economy is the middle class. Okay? But in Nigeria, we have a government that stifles businesses, makes it difficult for anybody to survive, especially the middle class. Tax the hell out of middle class. That in turn, they don't have any spare change to go to restaurants and eat, or, engage the services of those in the lower class, or those who depend on anything they make in that day to be able to eat. Their next meal is not assured. Now, when you want to say you are giving food palliative, honestly speaking, I've been watching channels, Politics Today. A lot of people will come and tell you they don't trust the government, they don't trust the government, they don't trust the government, they don't trust the government. And that's why the initial scheme of putting 5,000 naira or 8,000 naira in accounts of people that are below a certain amount, that have a below certain amount in their account, was scrapped. It's purely because of the same trust issue. And when people don't trust the government, it's a problem. Because you mean well, but those you mean well for don't believe you mean well for them. It is a problem. The difference that Peter Obi will bring to the table, or to the government or leadership of Nigeria, is that the trust of the people is with him, naturally. Not because he's a saint, but because of track record. He's done something better. When I look at the ministerial list of Tinubu, I don't know everybody there. A lot of people have criticized it. Anyway, there's nothing you do that will make everybody happy. But am I happy with the names there? Maybe. Wike might be a terrible person. Speaking as an Igbo man, he did a lot of bad to Igbos. But at the same time, Wike did well for his people. Therefore, might be on his own tangent. I don't know what his thought processes are. The way he is very close to other parts of Nigeria, but then always against the Igbo agenda or Igbo interest. But you cannot take away that David Umahi has made Ebonyi State the most beautiful state in the whole of the Southeast. In fact, he's the best performing governor after Wike in the whole of APC tenure in the last 8 years. So, having those two people in that list, if they are allowed to work without influences, if they are allowed to work, and Wike can do what he did in River State in the whole Nigeria in the next 8 years, and Dave Umahi can do what he did in Ebonyi State for the whole Nigeria in the next 8 years, I tell you that we are happy with those ministers. I heard about Nnaji as power, and I know what the man has done in Abia State. So at the same time, we know that there is something called political reward. It could be that these people might have done well in their state, but because of what they did for Tinubu in the election, because we know clearly both Wike and Dave Umahi fought against Peter Obi, and the youth are with Peter Obi. So essentially, can these people still deliver? I don't know. And that is why it is a little bit dicey. But we'll wait and see. But our prayers is with the court to do the needful, the judges to do the needful, and, give us our mandate back, so that Peter Obi will be our next president. Now, while that is still in process, and while we await for that, this whole food palliative of a thing, Nigeria borrowed $3 billion. In fact, I must say, Naira is appreciating. Since that money came in, $3 billion came in. At least Naira have appreciated from 1,200, which it dropped. So you see, it's Nigeria. Let's not mix this as a progress. Naira was about 950 or so to a pound during Buhari's tenure. Buhari handed power over to Tinubu. It went bad to 1,200 to a pound. So now it's just appreciated back to 1,075. It has not even gotten to Buhari's era rate, which is 950. So it's not like Tinubu has done anything wonderful. He just borrowed money and put it in the economy, and that has reflected. And I hear he's bringing back Bureau de Change. But instead of bringing back Bureau de Change, which no other country practice, why not give that dollar directly to the banks and let the banks deal directly with their customers, who are the businessmen, the middle class, and boom the economy that way? Why do people have to go to Bureau de Change or go to Aboki on the street to be able to get dollar and foreign currency? We are still not getting it right. So somebody said to me, forget this thing that is happening, Naira is still going to hit 2,000 to a pound by December. I don't want to agree with that. I don't want to be pessimistic. I don't want to believe, they say 2 heads are better than 1. 2 heads are better than 1. So I don't want to believe that 45, or I hear he's adding even 3 more. I really, really hope it's not going to be FFK and MC Olomo. He has added Festus Keyamo there. So I don't think these things are really based on merit. I think it's just political reward. But I hope he doesn't put FFK there. Thank God Erufai has pulled out, because that one is a chameleon. But going back to what I was saying, Nigeria should never fight any war. War brings poverty. I drive Uber as a side hustle, and I spoke to somebody from Ukraine that I was lifting. She told me that the honest truth is that the word on the street is that they don't like Zelensky. And Zelensky is about the richest man in Ukraine now. He owns properties in the UK and everywhere in the West. So we need to understand that it is not because you are fighting that there are people who think you are fighting for them. You might even be surprised that Putin is not even loved in Russia as well. I don't know. I've not spoken to a Russian. But all I'm trying to say is that we should avoid anything war, especially in this day and age. We just come out of COVID, there's inflation. Even UK, everybody's suffering. We are doing 2-3 jobs to survive. So let's face what is the real problem. We need peace. Yes, there is coups and coups and coups in Africa, but also there's economic coups that's been happening. What has UN has to do or got to do, or what has America got to do with all the looting that is going on and all the corruption? Are their hands not in it? All the mineral resources. Do you know what is in Niger? Do you know that Niger has uranium? And because they are trying to stop buying uranium from Russia, they are trying to enter Niger. America has a base in Niger, a military base. And bases run activities every day. How be it secretly? You don't know what they are doing. But who do you think is patronizing them on that uranium use? Amongst other minerals. So there's more that meets the eye than what we are being told. And if Tinubu has been going to France to go and sign that agreement, to help the West to get access to, because if you watch what is happening politically in Africa, they are leaning more to the east. There's a lean more to the east in Africa. Mali ousted out France and lean more to Russia. Now Niger has done the same thing. And don't forget, Niger already have the backing of Mali and Burkina Faso. Just like what Thomas Sankara do. It's military men that will say, no, we want you to work for the people. Yes, coups are not good, but sometimes coups can bring about a good government. Sometimes you need political disobedience, because if you leave all these politicians, they will just keep looting. Doing it for their families, they won't care. It takes a sensible military head to be able to correct things. Maybe we don't need violence, maybe we don't need coup. But what we need is to address the issues. The biggest challenge that Nigerians are facing is corruption on a very high magnitude. Negligence of the population. Now, back to the topic, food palliative as a poverty eradication or alleviation. It won't go anywhere. Is it a good thing? Yes. Personally, I've used food banks in the past. And food banks is there to get you by, but not as a solution. You don't get food banks on a weekly basis. Maybe once there's an issue, there is no job or whatever, then you run to the food banks to get food or get help. And that should be just about it. But when you know your people are poor from naira scarcity, from COVID, from unemployment, from inflation, food bank will not do nothing. But it's a welcome development. It's better than nothing anyway. 5,000 trucks to all the 36 states of Nigeria, plus additional 5 billion naira to each of the governors for the 36 states. That's how they've shared it now. So instead of putting money directly into the account, which they now established that most poor people don't even have a bank account, which I can also testify to. A lot of our families, our mamas, our mothers and daddies, our people in the village don't have bank accounts. Some villages don't even have a bank. My village don't have any bank in it. In fact, before you see any bank close to my village, at least you cross 1 or 2 villages. So people in that enclave or that village or that space don't know what is banking. They are out of the electronic monetary system. So if you want to elevate the poor, which of course you cannot exclude these people, then using banks as a yardstick or account as a yardstick, you failed. So now they've shifted it that they are going to share this money to governors. Now, do people believe that governors are going to share this bag of rice to the right people? That's what I've been thinking. How are you going to share it? If you have 21 governments, 21 local governments in one state, and you bring 5,000 bag of rice, that means in that local government, they are going to give about... Thank you. Sorry, my own food just arrived, and I'm starving. I just came back from church, and we're talking about food palliative, so maybe I can be eating as well. So what am I trying to say? You see, if you have 21 states and you have 5,000 bags of rice, maybe it will still go a good distance, 250 or 250 for the 21. Give and take, we give you 5,000. If you have 21 local governments, or some states in the north have even more local governments. Now, 250 in a local government. How many families are you going to give? How many wards are you going to give? Unless you bring that bag of rice and start splitting it into those small cups or penta. So eventually you see that what will arrive at a particular home will be like one portion of rice that probably can last 1 or 2 weeks. You see where the problem is? If this government say, okay, the money we are saving from subsidy, we are going to use it and ensure that we generate electricity. Let there be steady power. Poverty will be alleviated with immediate effect. How be it capital intensive, but put and channel all your energy into it. If Tinubu say in the next 8 years, I'm going to make power my priority, just like the governor Peter Mba is saying that he's going to provide one thing that is lacking in Enugu State, which is water. And already we can see that he's doing it. And he promised to deliver it within 100 days. We are just about 60-something days now. He has already done the first industrial borehole. And there is more to go. And he's going to deliver it. If people say, I'm going to deliver electricity, Egypt have done it. South Africa have done it. Let us have power. Poverty will die a natural death. Do you know why? I've spoken to a lot of people who their businesses have failed. I've spoken to a lot of people who were rich before. I know them in Nigeria, they were rich. Or people that I know that they're doing well, all of a sudden and what will kill that business or make them poor is the same system. And most of the problem is that there is no steady power to run businesses. No matter which industry you want to create, any business you want to create, you need power. So if Nigeria can invest, instead of having 36 or 40-something ministries. Somebody said something quite important on channels. I've forgotten the man's name, but he was a... In fact, I really appreciate Sheung. He brings very intelligent people sometimes to his page, to his channel, to his program, Politics Today. And the guy said, maybe you need 45 ministries, but America has about 18. Please don't quote me, but it's a very smaller number. Just about 18 or 12, he said, if my memory doesn't fail me. And he said, why do you need 45 ministries? Don't get me wrong. We are trying to cut governance. You are creating more ministries. And then the other guy that was on the other side of the thought said, oh, you can actually run a ministry of 10 ministers and still spend much money. And have 45 ministries and spend less money. That argument is valid. So now we have Ministry of Gas and we have Ministry of Petroleum. It might be for a good reason that he has done it that way. Yes. But at the same time, apart from cutting cut off governance, we need a priority. We need to prioritize on something. And right now, what Nigeria needs more than the air, not more than the air anyway, because you need air to be alive. But what Nigeria needs expediently is power. That will drive poverty away, because Nigerians are industrious people. The only thing that the system can provide to Nigerians, for Nigerians to start coming out of poverty, is steady power. Then you can talk about good roads, you can talk about empowerment through the microfinance banks and everything, which I think all these things are probably coming back slowly. But we need to hit the nail on the head. We need steady power in Nigeria so that industries can run, so that people that want to go into palm oil production can go into, people that are in pure water business can do business, people that are into bonds production or even not back, these people can do business. And we need to provide security after we get power. If I'm going to give you the hierarchy, or even security before power. But anyway, if we have steady power and there is light, I don't know if you guys knew, but back in Onitsha then, when the NEPA takes light, that was when armed robbers always attack. So sometimes people started saying maybe armed robbers are communicating with NEPA people to take light. If there is darkness, it's easy for somebody to do picking pockets or snatch your bag and run, or your phone and run. But if you have light and everywhere is well lit, it's less crime. Although this might be debatable. So maybe I can place power above security in terms of what we need. After all, everybody provides security for themselves in Nigeria. Every Nigerian is probably aware of his surroundings, very mindful of everything. Everybody in Nigeria is security conscious. They know where their pockets are. You know when you're going to the market. You know, people know how to secure themselves. So a considerable extent. After all, do we have emergency line? Will you be in any situation that you start calling emergency? Please, I'm in this situation. Police, come and help me. You don't even know your location. How do you even explain? We don't have emergency services. So Nigeria, you're your own security. You build high fences. You put gates. You lock your door. You know, you buy dogs. Dogs are used for security in Nigeria, not pets. All these things you are doing is security. So in a way, we need power to elevate us from poverty. After power, we need security. Why do we lose companies like GSK? P2B have mentioned two powerful companies that have left Nigeria in the last few years. Not even this year and last year. GSK, after 20-something years in Nigeria, left Nigeria. Nobody in government said back. There's one other company that invested billions in Nigeria, Agino, that have left Nigeria. Nobody said back. These are people that shake economies living. How do we progress without all these heavyweights? And most of their reason for living is purely because of security challenges. We have a lot to do. Yes, Tinubu is trying. Officers, I don't like him. I will not criticize his good efforts. He's changed the security architecture. He's not going for the military guys. Usually, of us, we're advising him that he should use more of police personnel. Some of these things are not kinetic. Military should go and fight war. Leave the shores of Nigeria, the inside. Leave the one for police. Go and do your duty. Let police do internal work with intelligence. Do you understand? So he's appointed a few people in that sector. No comment on them. We're going to watch out and see how things turn out. But you can't achieve security without intelligence. And for you to have intelligence, you have to get into neighborhood watch. You have to get people being able to report. Like I said, they don't have emergency line. If you go on the tube in London, they will tell you, see something, say something. They're encouraging people to report things. So as you are fighting or you hit somebody, before you know it, you see police, you don't know who caught them. Because they have imbibed it in the UK culture to make sure you report things. And everybody know that once they report, somebody will do something. So in Nigeria, of course, there's so many times that EFCC and police have shared their numbers of emergency. But how many of them will you call? I know how many emails I've written when I was duped. When fraudsters took my money. How many of them, till today, they've not even responded. So Nigeria, we need to create a system that works. For us to resolve security. So that we have that public sector, private sector partnership. Or individuals can trust our system and trust our security agencies and agents to be able to work with them. But Nigeria, sometimes when you look deep, you see that these people are even the ones doing, they change uniform and do things and then go back to uniform and come and, So there's a lot of things that are not very clear. And a lot of our security personnel even use spiritual powers to protect themselves. So who is protecting who? So we have a system that we have to thoroughly look at and say, okay, how do we address all these challenges? Because it's when security is there that farmers can go and do their work. Especially in the north, who have the lands. The east is heavily dense and congested. People are discouraged from staying in the villages. They see villagers with something for the poor and the old elderly. So we need to go into big commercial agriculture and agro business, like Obasanjo called it. Export, export, export. Feed yourself, export. That's why agriculture is very good. But then you need protection. For people to know that nobody will come with their cows and destroy their farmlands and all their suffering. Farming is not something that happens in 1 month or 2 months. You need at least the next season for things to grow, and then there's a season for germination. There's a season for it to mature. There's a season you go and harvest. You're waiting for that season, and the next thing somebody carry a cow and come and damage all your farm. These are reports that people call us that are abroad and tell us, this is what happened to me. All my suffer, all my farms, all my investment, everything gone. And not every farmer have money to fence the area so that Fulani people will not come with their cow. So are the things we need to address. The Fulani men are making so much money from these cows. One cow can cost us more than 500,000, depending on size. And if you have about 10 cows, you're talking about 5 mil. So these guys are not poor. Why are they causing poverty on other people? Government need to look into it. Man, you're making a lot of money from this business. Buy a piece of land, put your cow, buy feeding and put for them. Here in the UK, people spend a lot of money on pets. Pets. People have 2 dogs, 3 dogs, 4 dogs. They take them for a walk, even in the night. They take them to the park to go and play. And these are not things they eat. These are not for consumption. These are just pets. You that have animal that you make money from, that is not a pet. It's a business. Why are you using that business to damage other people's businesses? Why not have a ranch and feed them grass? Buy grass, bring it to them, and then they will feed. And everybody's happy at the end of the day. When it's time for you to sell, you put them in the truck and go to the market. Like decent people. See, we are Nigerians and we are seeing the world evolve. But we want to keep doing things the way our fathers and our grandfathers did things. Why can't we evolve with the world? There are new ways of doing farming. There are new ways of doing rearing of animals. You don't see chicken. Like when I was small in our street, you will see all those stray chicken, they will be going until one of these criminal boys will grab it and eat. Probably that one will disappear. So people build houses for chickens and put it and feed them. That is how to rear. Same applies to cattle rearing. Or even horse or anything for that matter. Make a policy, make a law. Everybody that policy, make a law. Everybody that is into this business, get a ranch, feed your cows, and sell them in the market. Don't cause damage and poverty on other people's listing. Another thing I want to address, which has come to me, is the way people are duped in Nigeria. That thing plunges people into poverty more than anything. You will see somebody is doing well, the next thing they will tell you, somebody duped me. And no matter how smart or careful you think you are, they can come in diverse ways. Every business has a level of risk. But Nigeria is too risky. Too risky. There might be somebody you trust that have not failed you before. One day you just change and fail you. It's happened to me recently. Somebody I never thought can do me something, did me, I saw shaggy. So I don't blame anybody. It's not like you're not smart. But we need to be talking to our people. All of us are Nigerians. We always have bad mind. I don't know why. Black people. Why are you duping people? Why are you taking away from people? And our police need to look into all these things. The matter with fraud is that somebody will think he has this thing, the next thing he doesn't have it anymore. People will tell you they are doing business, the next thing they will tell you that all the money they're doing business, somebody just scattered it away. Somebody just, fraudulently took everything away from them. And they are back to square zero. Sometimes they even owe money on top. These things put people in poverty, sometimes depression. And it's not like it's easy to access loans. So people will now have to go and sell properties they own. And that thing is all these people that will go and sell land to A, sell the same land to B, and then two of them will be fighting each other. All these things, government need to address it. Down to the state level. Down to the world level. Even kings are supposed to be involved. Make sure that nobody sells land to more than one person. These are things that happen in Nigeria that should not be. Once you have a paper that says you are the owner of the land, that land is supposed to be yours. And not one big man will come and build a house and tell you can't do anything and just give you some money. Somebody said some story that somebody's land that had minerals was given 150,000 naira. It was Femi Falana now that said Nigeria loses about $9 billion to illegal mining of gold in Nigeria. You know, that's crude oil from all the south area and southeast is national money. All of us are sharing it. But the gold from the north in Zamfara is for state government. These are things we need to address. If Nigeria has to move forward, we have to be united. And you can't have unity if there is no justice and equity. Because that will breed peace. And when there is peace, there will be unity and progress. So the government needs to fight on all fronts. First of all, the judges have a big responsibility before their table to do the right thing and set Nigeria on the right path. Because we have done our own. Media have done their own. People have rallied and done. What else are we going to do? We can't carry gun. We've done democratically what we're supposed to do. We've casted our votes. INEC, one man, an institution, cannot deny the people their mandates. Give us P2B, who legally won the election. And everybody around him work within their powers to make sure Nigeria works. If Nigerians can go abroad and maintain good character and be good people, before they used to look at us somehow in Nigeria. When you're from Nigeria abroad, they will look at you. Now, they now know that Nigerians are hardworking. They respect us now. Because when you go to the hospital, you see nurses, most of them are Nigerian. Half Asian, half Nigerian. If you go to Uber, we are there. If you go to constructions, Nigeria, they're there. Anywhere you go, Nigeria is full. Nigerians are hardworking people. And that's why they are opening the doors for us to bring and come and do care work, do paper work, do all these things. They know we are doing it. IT, we did. So we need to create a system where the hardworking Nigerians can thrive. Fight corruption both on individual level and government level. So that you have mouth and talk to Yahoo boys, you have mouth and talk to prostitutes, you have mouth and talk to wrong girls. Personally, this is me, I would prefer they give that 5,000 bag of rice to churches and mosques. I will trust men of clergymen, better than our politicians. If you ask me now, the rice that is going to Enugu, where I can go and access it, I don't know. Otherwise, I could make calls to people in the village that are struggling to go there and go and collect it. But if you take that food to church and say, okay, we know Catholic Church is popular. Catholic churches are based on parishes, and parishes are supposed to be like wards or boroughs or localities, whichever way you want to call it, whichever nomenclature you want to use. And say for every Catholic church, we are sending 250 bags of rice. Father, establish those members that you know, give it to the poor ones, or even engage the pastors. But if you don't trust pastors, you can use the biggest churches in Nigeria, or you can use a mosque. Let the imam share it to those members they know are poor. Because there is no touch. The government have lost touch with the people. The only people that know the people and who is poor and who is rich is the church or the clergyman or the mosque. You can even give it to native doctors if you want to include them as a religion. Right? But for government to share palliative, these things is called welfare. It's not supposed to cease. It's supposed to continue in every society. Say, for example, in the UK, do you know how many charities that UK have? Do you know UK can just create something? We are running for charity. Some TV programs, they will tell you, oh, this program, all the money they make from this is going to charity. And there are many charities. They will tell you, choose a charity of your choice. The reason I like that program that Dare or Igwe of every village, the only thing is that some Igwes are now very political. Some Igwes now go to government house to collect title or license. So that's why I excluded Igwe. But yes, some Igwes know what is happening in the villages most especially, where there may be no parishes or churches. But most villages will have at least one Catholic church. Or at least one mosque. So, there's this comedy in Amazon Prime. It's actually on my page that Dare did with Basket. They did like a live show where all the comedians came to. Why I love that show, not that I agree with everything they did there, but anyway, they're just trying to be funny, trying their talents. But then, it's because they said they are going to give it to charities of their choice. Those are the kind of things Obodo Igbo people do. Those are the kind of things white people do. You see a white man, even sometimes in hospitals, even in every Tesco, every shop, they will have things they give to charity. So in their setup as human beings, they know they have to always give to the less privileged. And today is Sunday, they might not go to church today. Our own, black people, once you go to church, give offering, give tithe, we have done our own. You don't care about the next poor man. You don't care about the less privileged. You don't care about all the charities. You don't even care about people at war. But there are people who take out their time, volunteer to go and help others. They might not be going to church every Sunday, but they are doing the work. Because the Bible says that when you look after others, you are looking after me. Well, not want to look after God. So government should make it a continuum. And so many ministries have been created. I'm sure there's a ministry that's supposed to be looking after food. We're supposed to have a system. Food banks here are part of the council. And that's the one from government. Then there are also charities like Salvation Army. A church. So these things I'm telling you are not things I'm just imagining. These are things that I've seen work. Salvation Army is a church. If you go there, you see long queues. People will stand and be getting food for the day. However much, however big. So many churches, especially Igbo churches, if you go, they give you food on Sunday. At least that day you don't chop. And that's why the Bible says that bring food so that there will be meat in my house. Some churches in the UK, even Pentecostals, they eat every Sunday, or they organize things and they eat. So why not use the church and share all these food palliatives? And don't give it to governors who do not care about their people. Because number one, people don't trust governors. Where are you going to see governor? Even if the governor is from your village, can you near his fence? Can you near his fence? I've always had this mind that when I'm super rich, my house, they will be cooking in my house 24/7. Anytime you come to my house, you want to eat, you eat. When I'm super rich, if God give me money, I will be employing chef on rotation, 24 hours, shifts, paying them, providing food. Whenever you're hungry, come and eat. There's a tendency to make people lazy. Yes, there is. But once you eat, get to a stage, you go and hustle. Because one of the problems we have in Nigeria is when poverty and hunger have damaged our... I don't know if you've seen anybody that is hungry and they start having mental problem, or they start losing it mentally. Hunger can make you disoriented. Hunger can make you angry. Hunger can make you steal. Hunger can make you do some stupid things. So when you feed the people, alleviate them, then they can start working with their hands. They can be creative. They can be industrious. They can be productive. They are the one doing the work of God. Of course. What we are very good in having all these clubs, joining all these affluent groups, and then we show off. Some clubs and some all these things, they do some humanitarian things. Some people, some groups, they go to motherless babies, some and stuff. And these are things we're supposed to be doing. Engage charities that you know they are doing well. If government provide a particular place that if you are hungry, go there, I will feed you. And they are supplying, at least give people rice every so often, every month. They have a good record of these people. I've given you today. You can't collect from any other place until next month. It will help some people to get through. And it's not every day, just like we have universal credit here. It's not every day. When they are better off, they are working, they will stop. You don't give them that month. When you earn better income, universal credit stops automatically. But we must have a welfare system. Because every Nigerian is equal. Good morning, Sandy Lulu. So that's the better way of sharing food. And that said, it's not the way to solve poverty. If you want to solve poverty, you have to provide electricity. My battery is very low, so I'm going to stop here. But I'm sure all of us went to church. So use your church mind to take this message. And if you know you are throwing away food, you know, when I was growing up, Papa used to tell us, we can't throw food away in our house. So instead of throwing food, you put it in the fridge. Whether there is light or no light, tomorrow, make with another gari. You can't throw food away. And the reason it tells us that there are people who do not see food to eat. So that's why you cannot throw food away. Nigeria, we waste. We waste. Here, even in Tesco and all these big shop, they don't waste. So when you want to expire, they will reduce it and bring it out. And then there are all these people you see homeless. You don't know this, but this is what happens. All these homeless people, in the night, they will go and wait for them that dustbin. Once Tesco want to throw it away, they will take it. I even got to some point, government told them to stop giving them expired products. So by law now, they have to make sure they destroy the expired ones. Sandy, you can always watch. I will share it. So we need to make welfare a thing. Especially those that government... Somebody told me that his business, government crumbled it. Chased them out from where their building is. They went and paid for another shop. They chased them out from that side. Demolished the two shops. The guy now sold his property, yet he has not stood up. Nobody to help you, no assistance. You have to be begging people. How many people are you going to beg to get money in Nigeria? So I'm going to stop here. But if we really want to alleviate poverty, that almost more than half of Nigerians are in, we need to fix electricity. And that's why Peter B said he's going to declare a state of emergency on power. I expect Tinubu, while we wait for Peter B to come in, Tinubu should do something. It's not about creating, if you like, create 100 ministries. It's about doing what is needful. We need light, we need power, and we need security. There's some things he's done, I applaud, but he needs to do more. He needs to do more. Because sometimes when you look at that ministerial thing, yes, these people have done a little bit. I feel like it's paying them back. Most of those people are his loyalists. It's just like political payback. It's not like he's based on merit. Although some of them have done good work. Anyway, Chai, no accountability in Nigeria. Yes. I don't know. If you receive that rice in your state, that 5,000 bag of rice or no, I think is it trucks of rice or is it 5 trucks of rice? I don't know whether it's 5,000 rice or whatever. I don't know which. But if you receive that rice in your state, tell me. Or if you know anybody that received that rice, tell me. Because we know what they did with palliative. I'm going to stop here. Please share this video, especially to those in power. If you know anybody in your state, this is not federal anymore. Federal have washed their hands off it. That's why they release it and they publicize it. So thankfully, it's not like palliative that we didn't know. This one we know. If your governor did not give you rice or did not share 5,000 rice, know that your governor have kept that rice for himself. They've released the trucks of rice and paid 2 billion already to them. I have not heard of one woman that have received at least in Abia State. Hold on, no. Let's not say anything bad about Alex Oti, our only Labour Party governor. We hope that he does something. For me, if I'm a state governor, you give me 5,000 bag of rice to share to my people, I will take it to the churches. Give it to Reverend Father. If you share it to 100 Reverend Fathers, at least 90 will do the right thing. Let's say 10 don't do the right thing. If you leave it for governors to share, they will share it to their boys and their political loyalists. And that does not mean you've shared it to the poor people. God bless you, and we hope that Nigeria gets better. Till next time, thank you and bye-bye.